Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan, and today we have a special guest.
I'm Batman.
Oh shit, we finally got him!
We got Batman in.
We finally got him! Holy shit!
Where's he been all our lives?
They said it was all in vain, but he finally got back to those emails and tweets.
Wait, which Batman is it? Is it Kevin Conroy? Is it Ben Affleck? Is it Christian Bale? Is it Adam West from the grave?
No.
Is it Val
It's
Kilmer?
throat cancer, Batman. it's George Clooney.
George Clooney. Everybody's favorite Batman, George Clooney. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It'd be so funny if you had George Clooney on a podcast, but you just titled it as everyone's favorite Batman, George Clooney. Welcome, come on down.
I'm actually Craig Johnson. I co-host Indie Comics Club with Spencer.
Yeah, we do the Indie Comics Club, and we've mentioned that before on Old Man Orange before. It's the ultimate place to go get your Indie Comics Club fix every single week, talking indie comics and a lot of Batman and Spider-Man and all kinds of fun rants. But yeah, go over to Comix Central, find the podcast, and buy yourself some new books. That's what we always do. And then the other big thing that Craig does, that real big thing that sometimes he doesn't get mentioned enough for, is he does Project Saviour, the superhero indie comic that you can once again find on Comix Central. And that's Project Saviour with a U. It's got the British spelling. Your American computer won't like it, I'll
If
tell
you
you
like
that.
Batman, you'll like it.
Yeah, if you like Batman, you like Nightwing, you like the things we're going to talk about today, you'll like Project Saviour.
Guaranteed.
If you don't like Batman, you probably don't listen to Old Man Orange Podcast. That's all I got to say, because we talk a lot of Batman. But we decide that, we got to have Craig on. We're kind of still doing our countdown to 400 episodes, and this is episode, I think, 390? We're getting closer. Yeah. But we never talked about Batman Under the Red Hood, because that came out before we started the Old Man Orange Podcast, way back in the day. I guess that movie's 8 years old by now.
It has to be, yeah.
So it's like, man, we got to do a Batman Under the Red Hood retrospect, because that is, man, just one of the best Batman movies ever made. I'd say top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Night after night, I watch over this city. But now someone stands in the shadows who knows my every move before I make it, stalking me. It ends tonight.
Who do you work for?
100%.
So funny thing about
I convinced my cousin to watch it.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, shit. My cousin's not a big he likes the characters, but he's not really into the animated films and stuff. And he was bored one day. He's like, "Watch Under the Red Hood." He was like, "Is it any good?" And I was like, "Just watch it." And he was like, "That was the best thing I've ever seen." I was like, "I know. You're welcome."
Well, Ryan's got a good story of kind of pretty much converting a guy by using Batman Under the Red Hood. And I think this movie is the ultimate movie. If somebody's, 1, not into Batman, 2, not into animation, I think this movie can change that real quickly. Ryan, you tell that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to work in a kitchen. There's this one guy. He's been on the show before. His name is James. And he's not one of those guys who's really into superhero stuff, but it's one of those things where he's willing to maybe check it out every so often. And getting him to watch a cartoon that's not Family Guy or Simpsons, something like that, it's kind of hard for him. He's like, well, I can watch a funny one, but a serious one, how am I supposed to take that seriously? Come on. And I got him to I'm going to give you this Batman movie. Just check it out. If you're not intrigued by the first 5 minutes, go ahead and turn it off. All right. But I'm pretty sure it's going to get you by the first 30 seconds. So he's like, okay. He comes back and watches it. He's like, I get it. I see what you mean. He didn't tell me that Robin gets beaten the fuck gets the fuck beat out of him with a crowbar. He could have just told me that. I would have watched this thing right off the bat.
It's the perfect gateway movie because of that.
And since then, he got kind of a little bit more aware of Batman stuff. I let him borrow a couple others, and some he liked more than others. But he was like, "Oh, so it's kind of cool seeing Harvey Dent in year one for a second before he started knowing characters without their alias, you know."
He became sort of a Batman fan just through the power of this movie, you know. And he also even went into other things. He tried other stuff. He tried Cowboy Bebop. He was going real deep into other things.
Yeah, I got him into Cowboy Bebop. One of the few things that he said ever made him shed a tear.
But yeah, Batman Under the Red Hood, boy, and just rewatching it again, because I probably haven't watched it in some years. It's been a while since the last time I've seen it. You know, there's just so many DCU movies, you know, you're just kind of watching stuff, and sometimes, you know, it got a handful of years since the last time I watched it, but this is one of those ones that you throw it on, and it's like, man, I almost kind of forget how amazing it is. It's like, you know it's amazing, but when you see it again, you're like, it's even more amazing than I can imagine.
You're reminded why.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You just feel like, oh, this is why this is such a good Batman story. All around, you know?
I totally agree. I love this film. This came out not long after. I think it may have been a year, 2 years after I'd read the graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
And like the graphic novel was amazing anyway. With the revelation of Jason Todd being alive. And then they went, "Oh, we're going to do an Under the Red Hood film." And I was like, really? Like, what are you going to keep and what are you going to get rid of? Because I don't really think Superboy Prime punching his way through cosmic glass, resetting everything is going to work. But they did. But they found a better way, and it's awesome.
It's also way simpler. It's just like,
I love it.
It was just, oh yeah,
it's definitely simpler.
we just dropped him into Lazarus and done. Like, really? Yeah, done just like that. All right, cool.
But it's the fact that he got the body before he could get it back, and I was like, that makes so much sense.
Well, I like it's almost
like, I didn't want to. He was. Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I like because it's like Ra's al Ghul almost has this feeling like he's like, you know, I always wanted to test to see if the Lazarus worked on a dead body, and I never really had the opportune moment. I know I kill a lot of people, but for some reason I didn't think it was worth bringing them back. But then I saw when your boy died. Well, there you go. Let's test this theory out.
Wait. But that's the other thing, though. Like, this really goes into the whole relationship between Ra's and Batman. Like, Ra's, Ra's, depends which one you want to go with. Ra's just wanted to put Batman off the scent of what he was doing, thinking, oh, well, the Joker will be a nice distraction. He never anticipated the Joker to kill Robin, and he was like, like, he respects Batman. But then watching Robin die, he was like, I can't allow this. This isn't what I planned. Like, this isn't what I wanted to do. So he was like, well, I'm gonna try and resurrect him. If you look in the box, I'm fucked. But if you don't, I'm gonna try. And then he lost him. And he was like, well, I'm not gonna tell him he died twice. That's none of my business. I'll be over there. Yeah. And what is it? What's it? Like 5 years or something between it, or longer?
I think it's 5 years. I think that's all it is, because it says that right in the caption. I want to say at the beginning. It's like 5 years later, Gotham City.
But to be fair, like, Jason takes an utter beating.
Oh, he really does. He just gets wailed with that crowbar.
Well, funny thing about this...
Go
ahead.
No, go on.
Funny thing about this movie, it's written by Judd Winnick, who's the guy who wrote the original graphic novel. So he kind of knew what to condense. Because I think I liked the movie more than the graphic novel. The graphic novel, I remember Black Mask being a more prominent character, and Joker just popping in at the end for that whole final confrontation. But this right here was far more of a simplified story, where the graphic novel was a lot more drawn out and it focused a lot more on the war between Red Hood and Black Mask.
I feel like I'm pretty sure Joker's got the exact same amount in it as he did in the graphic novel, scene for scene.
Well, it was one of those things where, because right at that point, Joker was kind of a has-been, because I think he went up to Hush. It was like, this is a little after Hush. He went to Hush, and Hush like beat the fuck out of him. He's like, I don't want to see you in my town no more. And Joker goes wandering back to the carnival at the Killing Joke.
Oh,
and then
that's right. Yes.
And then Joe, then like, he's just kind of like, he doesn't have a gang or nothing. He's just looking around like, fuck. And then all of a sudden, Red Hood comes up to him. This is like the actual official reveal of Red Hood in the comic. He looks at him, he says, "Who are you? You know who I am? I'll fucking kill you. Get the fuck out." And then all of a sudden, he pulls out a crowbar, starts to beat the shit out of him. He says, "How does it feel?" And that rejuvenates Joker. Right. He's like, "Oh shit, he's back. We gotta have some fun."
Well, it's like
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, because I haven't read the graphic novel since probably this movie originally came out. But I wouldn't mind.
I think I'm getting them blurred.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back and doing that again too. But I do remember this movie being one of those ones where it's like, it was a pretty good, like, I mean, yeah, the graphic novel has, those extra scenes and so on. But for the most part, you kind of got it all pretty darn complete with the movie, excluding the extra stuff. You got that story in there just the same way that they did with Batman Year One. Like, Batman Year One, the movie, I feel that one's like, you almost, if you never read the graphic novel, you could still kind of get away because that movie pretty much has it all in there.
I hate that movie.
You don't like Year One?
Well, I would if they would redub the voice. I hate Batman's voice.
You don't like, God, what, it's,
OC. Forgot his real name.
Yeah, and Gordon from Gotham.
Oh yeah, he's Gordon from Gotham, that's right.
But he doesn't, like, he is the poster boy for, not acting lines and just reading the lines. It sounds like he's just reading you can tell he's just reading the script out loud. It feels like he's not trying to do anything with it, and it just irritates us. Because other than that, the film's incredible.
Uh-huh. Like, I don't know, the Batman
like,
voice
so
in that
true
one,
to the book.
That Batman voice never really did bother me too much in there, and I like him as Jim Gordon in Gotham, but I know that
I think it was more the narration bits.
Yeah, I know that's always, because I remember Kevin Smith even said that too, that he wasn't really, that's like the one weak point of that movie is he just wasn't into the voice.
Yeah,
and
I think that's my only complaint. The rest of it's awesome.
Is that period, I mean, now granted there's been other Batmans, but that was almost like where they didn't get Kevin Conroy, so he was one of the first guys like, oh, you're doing a movie without Kevin Conroy? Oh, well, that's kind of weird.
I think this was wasn't this the first they did it without him?
Oh, did this one come before?
Under the Red Hood?
This isn't the first one without him, because somebody was Batman, and because there is Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I don't remember what came out before or after. But if not that, there's at least Justice League. No,
I mean, like, this was the first one they did. This was the first one where Kevin Conroy wasn't in it. After this, there was different Batmans.
Justice League,
this was
Brave
the first
New World.
time they didn't get him. The which one?
Justice League, Brave New World.
But everyone got recast in that because it was a '60s homage.
Oh, you're talking about not Brave New World.
New Frontier.
New Frontier.
Okay, yeah, that
I think everyone was expecting Conroy, but then they didn't do it, and they didn't get Mark Hamill back either, and everyone was like, "Wait, we're getting an animated Batman film without the usual voices. What?" And then after this, it set a precedent, and then they tried to do the New 52 universe, and then they did. Was it which Baldwin was it?
I think it was a Baldwin, not Alec. That's all I know. It wasn't Alec. That's all I know.
Steven?
It wasn't Adam neither, because Adam voiced Superman in. No, he didn't. That's the wrong one I'm thinking of.
Well, it's Stephen Baldwin, the one from John Carpenter's Vampires. Isn't that Stephen Baldwin?
I think it's Stephen Baldwin.
I'm just gonna shout out random Baldwin names until we get there.
It was a Baldwin, I know that much. But Bruce Greenwood though is Batman in this. Ooh.
Oh yeah, dude, well. This is the thing about this movie is, man, the voice acting is just all around really good. I mean, for Jason Todd, Red Hood version, they got the guy from Supernatural. The guy with the deep voice. That's my best way to describe it. Not the guy who doesn't have like the Nickelback haircut, but has the deep voice and the short hair.
I think he was a really good pick actually for Red Hood.
Yeah, no, I think he's really good on that. And then the guy, I'm drawing a blank on his name for Joker.
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio, that's right.
Bender.
Bender. That Joker, I think, is so good. It's like up to Mark Hamill like quality, but it's in such a different way. It almost reminds me like a Kelsey Grammer take on it. That's what it feels like. It feels like if Kelsey Grammer came in and played Joker, that's sort of what John DiMaggio has in this.
I just wish his laugh was better. That's my only complaint about John DiMaggio's Joker is his laugh. I don't think his laugh's strong enough.
He kind of has a little bit. He comes across to me as a cross between I mean, it's still his own thing, but it comes across to me as a little bit of a mix of Mark Hamill / Heath Ledger, because he has kind of the raspiness.
Yeah, he has the visuals of a mix of the two as well. Mm-hmm. Because if you notice, after Heath Ledger, everyone started putting the black around Joker's eyes.
Yeah. And I just liked the version they do of Joker in this is just so good. Just even some of the small lines he says, because this is one of those ones where it doesn't hold your hand. It lets you, even if you're not a Batman fan, you could piece it together. Like when he finally when like they go to interrogate Joker, and he slams him against the wall, and he says, "Are you going to do it this time, or is it going to be another body cast for 6 months?"
Well, it's just like the brutality that they have between the relationship between Jason, Batman, and Joker, and that kind of like trinity of like this section they have. And then they even have got Nightwing in there too to throw it. And they got MPH playing it, Neil Patrick Harris, which he is a little bit jokey, I will say. I almost kind of wish they...
But Nightwing is, though.
Well, Nightwing always does have jokes, but sometimes I don't know if I noticed it before, but I felt like, oh, well, they make him kind of the comic relief of the movie. I guess him and Joker, but Joker's always kind of comic relief.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if he wasn't comic relief.
But to be fair, I think Nightwing actually comes out with pretty much the same quips he comes out in the graphic novel, because in the graphic novel, he makes a joke about the weather.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, did you just make... And then Batman says it back to him, he's like, did you just make a joke about the weather? Wow. It must be really bad.
Yeah. But
I think one of the strongest points in this film is the fight scenes.
Oh, they're so well animated.
So well done. Like the fight where he joins Red Hood against the what are they called?
The Fearsome Five.
Yeah, that's it. And he's like, no, maybe you should rethink the name.
Or even that small little line, there's the guy that has the laser beam shooting out of his head, and he says, like, why so close? Afraid you'll miss?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's so many good lines, and you know what always makes Red Hood kind of a cool character, and I know there's always different interpretations of him, and sometimes some interpretations kind of bother me of Red Hood where they get later on, but I love the fact that what they make him is he's the ultimate Punisher Batman, because we've talked about this before of like Batman and Superman, or Batman v Superman, and how like, you know, Batman's kind of kills, and how there's certain Batman fans don't like that, but there's other Batman fans that they actually like the idea of Batman being, I always call it Punisher Batman, where it's Batman, but instead he goes the distance and kills people. And some people want that kind of stuff. And maybe they're just a different type of Batman fan that don't want the non-killing. Well, I feel Red Hood gives you that, because that's Batman, but what if Batman killed? That's who, you know, Jason Todd is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jason Todd's motivations in general resonated quite well. Like, it actually paid off, because he was like, I'm not wanting you to kill everyone. I just thought if it was me, you would have killed him, because I would have done it for you. I was like, that's fair. Well, you can't really argue with that.
Well, that is just like such a great scene though, where Jason Todd's like, he's like, for all the people he's killed, for everybody he's maimed, for everybody who's disabled because of him, you know, and it's just like a build. He's like, you know what? I get it. But when he killed me, like, why didn't you do anything about him? You let him go. You let him live. Why? Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, Why do you keep him around? Well, if DC Comics says if I kill him, that we'll run out of issues.
Sales go down. They'll go up for that one issue, but past that, they'll really plummet. You understand, right? It's all business, kid. How do you think I stayed this rich?
Yeah. But no, just that moment, though, of just kind of like the breakdown of Jason Todd, be like, why, Batman? It's almost that kind of thing that's sort of what like separates him, is like Jason Todd kind of says like, no, I could cross that line and kill and still be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. And Batman's just trying to tell him like, no, maybe you can't cross that line. Do you understand what's going on?
You can't come back from it.
It also shows the imbalance of Jason Todd, because there's that part where when he first joins and he's all like, oh, gee willikers, Batman, it's gonna be fun! And they're fighting the Riddler, and it almost has this 66 vibe. And then we cut to modern day, and then he's fighting like a methed out Hell's Angel with a machine gun. And he's just like, you broke his jaw, now he can't talk, what in the shock? Like, whatever, he deserved it, man, I don't care.
90s or 80s, kid.
Yeah, he shatters his collarbone, and he's like, there was like 50 other ways you could have took him out, and he's like, oh, I didn't realize we had to have a bedside manner.
Yeah. And I just kind of like that. It just kind of shows that like Jason Todd's like, no, why don't we just brutalize these guys? These guys aren't good people at all. and he starts getting the Punisher kind of attitude coming in. And the movie even has like that ending too, is almost kind of that sadness ending, because it literally goes with a scene of just like Jason Todd Robin putting on the costume for the first time and being like, we're going on patrol. This is the greatest day of my life. Cut the credits.
I feel like that's meant to be like kind of enjoy what you had. More like bittersweet than super sad, because it's like, because this thing about Batman, he doesn't show a lot of emotion, and when just a tiny bit comes through, it's never like you ever pull Superman to the side, Superman, I always admired you, always wanted to be you, and it's never anything like that. It'll like be a small line that gives you a little sliver of emotion, and that's kind of what makes those scenes so effective with Batman. And that was with this, where he's like, and Ralph, it says, in light of recent actions, would you like me to take that down? He just looks at it and says, no. It changes nothing. He gets into
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like that kind of stuff. I can't remember if they did this in the cut, but if Jason Todd comes back and goes like, whoa, who's this Tim Drake guy here? You're like,
he did do that. Yeah.
Well,
it's just like, oh yeah,
in
like,
Hush.
that was like 2 days later, I just got a new one. It's kind of like when you lose a dog, you're sad for 24 hours, then you go to the pet store and get a new. Just like, I just go on the street and find a new child to like put in a war.
I call him JD too.
Yeah, he likes to say his name's Tim, but his name's not Tim.
It's JT too.
Like, because this was the graphic novel that came out after Hush.
Yeah.
Or the second
close
one after.
To it.
There's a couple.
And there's a scene in Hush where when he takes the bandages off, he's Jason Todd, and like everyone was like, because there was a scene where he stood behind, he's like, oh, without friends, who would choose to live? And he stood next to an R, and everyone's like, oh my god, Jason Todd's back from the dead. And then they faked it out and went, oh no, it was just Clayface mimicking Tim Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh man. And then like 2 graphic novels later, it's like, and Jason Todd's back.
Well,
and he cut out in the middle of the fight just to see what would happen, and it was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, because even in Hush, I think that they still acknowledge, well, Riddler says to Batman, where's the body? Because the whole thing was his whole mastermind thing, and he kind of says, I know who you are, Bruce, ha ha ha, whatever. He's just like, go ahead, tell him. You don't think I don't have contingency plans? Fucking tell him. I don't give a shit. And that's where he says, well, if you're so good at detecting, where's Todd's body? Just socks him in the jaw. We're done talking. Leaves.
Yeah. But I think it's the last fight when he fights, like that whole fight with Jason Todd at the end, though.
Uh-huh.
But when they get into close quarters, you feel every punch because he's just had enough of his shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a dad when the son goes too far, and he's like, "You know what it is, you little shit. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you now." And it's like, I've been holding back this entire time. He's like, "No, you haven't." And he just fucks him up.
Takes off his utility belt,
smashes his. Yeah. You took my utility belt. You see that sink over there? Your face is connecting with. No, it's wabonk. You see this tile? Wabonk. And then just kicks him through a door, and he's like, I regret everything.
Yeah, just get to the point where it's like pushing him to the limit and so on.
I think by the end of it, Jason Todd was like, this was a terrible idea. Why did I do this? He just kicked the crap out of me again. It's like, you can train all you like. He trained you, therefore he's going to kick your ass.
Yeah, exactly. You've been having slumber naps for the last 5 years. Batman's still been training.
He's been having push-ups for breakfast.
Well, because even in the graphic novel, it kind of glosses over exactly how Jason Todd got to this point, but it hints at the fact that Talia funded him.
Uh-huh.
And gave him training as well. So once he got out of the Lazarus pit and got over his whole psychosis, because it even says in the lore of the Lazarus pit is, if you go in it, you come out. There's a period where you come out batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Raish has come out a couple of times and just straight up murdered servants just for the hell.
Yeah, that's the worst job you can have at the Raish Castle, is being the guy that has to watch the Lazarus pit as he goes in there.
Get looking at your shifts for the week. Shit.
Oh, God.
I'm on Lazarus duty. Crap, did you not hear what happened to Bob? No,
Yeah.
What happened to Bob? Raish came out of it and just straight up snapped his neck. He was facing the other way by the end of the day. I was like, no. But if you survive, you get double pay.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Well, it's also one of those things like, well, why do we have to be in there if we know he's going to kill us? Well, we got to make sure he doesn't drown. Well, let's like throw some fucking floaty wings on him or some shit. I don't know.
He's like 600 years old. He can't swim that well.
Well, we're there. We have to make sure he doesn't drown, but it's a Lazarus pit, not the point. But if he dies, he'll just come back, and it'll be like a loop.
I love how
Die, revive, die, revive, die, revive.
I love how in the movie, like where they put Jason Todd in the Lazarus pit, and then he just jumps out and just goes running, just like whoa, and just like runs through the glass and just jumps off the most tallest like mountain possible and just in the river. And Raish is just kind of looking down like,
I tried.
Yeah. Well,
He's just come out of his cycle thing going. Wait, there was another one in this? What? Where am I? Who are you? I'm Bob, sir. You're gonna die later. Who was in here with me? This is my bath, not yours.
Yeah, but it's just that kind of thing. Of like you know, at that first moment when he revives Jason Todd, it's almost that like, yeah, let's not tell Bruce about this. You know, I thought this was gonna be a good birthday present, but no.
I'm getting confused. Because in the comics, Raish is actually taking he's actually taking a dip in the Lazarus pit. And Talia chucks Jason in.
Oh, that's right. It's like, so Raish doesn't even know.
So Raish wakes up in his like psychotic thing going, what the fuck? And Jason's like, hee, and just starts snapping necks.
Well,
just
that's
like going around, he's like,
get out, like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go take a nice bath, be naked and everything like that, and you wake up, there's like a 10-year-old boy in there, you're like, oh God, what just happened? How drunk was I last night?
Wasn't gonna punch me, he is now.
This is my spa day.
Talia, what did we do last night? What did I do?
Talia, why is there a 10-year-old boy in my bath, and why is he killing all of my killable men?
And why is
That's
he
for me to kill. Why is he butt-ass naked? Oh, he was dead. He was kind of dead.
Whoa, he was dead too? Jesus.
This is my bathy time. You always have to call it that. Yes. So I'm 600 years old. I get few pleasures left in life. Bathy time is one.
I am 600 years old. I have been punched in the face by Batman repeatedly. I need this.
Yeah, this is my special time, and I do not want a boy in here. Especially Batman's boy. Who knows how many baths this boy shared, just saying.
I read that book that came out in the 40s.
Yeah, I was
Loss
alive
of Innocence. I know what he was doing.
But yeah, well, I guess that's true. I just feel like I answered my own question from previously. I forgot. They revived Jason Todd as a boy, not as a dead adult. So he had 5 years to train off in God knows where. See, I wonder if there is there ever a Red Hood comic that explains where those like years were where he was off like training?
Yeah, and
that I'm aware of.
There was, okay, I don't know about pre-52. I want to say pre-52. Craig, to go off what you said, Talia snuck him in there, they revived him, and I think she was training him for a little while, and then that's where she threw him into the Lazarus pit to help jog his memory.
Well, he was already revived, but he was brain damaged when he came back.
Yeah, she was...
and so he was kind of like a vegetable. He could fight, but only off memory.
Mm-hmm.
So she dunked him in to try and like reverse it.
Yeah, and then...
and he just went schizo, but then she found him, and gave him money. She gave him money, and he set up a few dummy corporations to buy, because in one of the comics, Bruce says, he's like, what is this company that's buying all of me shit? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm trying to make new fucking gadgets, and some kid's buying them all. Mm-hmm. And then you see Jason Todd come, and he's like, oh, do you remember this? You were trying to buy this. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. Batarang to the face. Mm-hmm. I bought those.
I want to say it was something very similar in New 52. Like, Talia brought him back to life, and he actually trained with the League of Assassins for a good while. Like, he was on a special squad with them.
Like it.
It'd be like, the League of Assassins always like, at some point we're going to get one of these boys to finally stay with us.
Yeah.
I think the Arkham Knight version did it quite well.
See, this is the only thing about the Arkham Knight one I don't like, is I don't like the Jason Todd where... in that one, they make him more of a psychopath that, like, is trying to kill everybody in the Bat family. Like, I just have a hard time believing that Jason Todd would want to harm Barbara Gordon or even Dick Grayson, like, intentionally. Like, I don't...
but he didn't, though. Like, he purposely went out of his way not to hurt Barbara. What he was trying to do was hurt Batman. But he even said, in Arkham Knight, he even says he's not wanting to hurt her. Like, he got someone else to kidnap her. He just, like, stopped her from escaping.
Huh? For some reason, I remember in that game that he was like setting it up that he wanted.
Oh no, he wanted to. His specific goal was to kill Batman.
Yeah, and that's almost too. I feel like he's almost so bound and determined to destroy Batman. I feel like that's not necessary. I didn't feel like that was as Jason Todd as I thought. Like,
yeah, but that's why it flips. Did you finish it?
Yeah, well, I played the whole thing.
Well,
there.
he has that. Well, if you watch the backstories and stuff, like you see Joker had him under Arkham Asylum for ages, beating him to shit with the crowbar.
Oh, I do remember that part. So, I mean, I do see, like, how they got around there. Like, I get how they get there. It's just one of those ones I felt that was a little bit less. It didn't feel to me as Jason Todd, like, as I would kind of feel that character is. Like, at the
It's
end
25. No, go on.
I was say, at the end of the day, I feel Jason Todd is still a good guy. He just is going to do some dark things to get there. And the whole point is he just wants Batman to, like, know that, like, hey, there is another way we can do this. And that's the conflicting before it, where that one, it makes him out just like he becomes almost like a serial killer, you know, just like a madman taking over Gotham. And I feel like it almost goes a little bit far. But don't get me wrong, I love that game, but that was like the only part that I felt like a little bit like, I don't know if that's his Jason. It feels it's a little bit.
See, I didn't take that from it, because just like he obviously trained way more to like get to Batman's level, and like he was actually on par with him compared to this, like compared to Under the Red Hood. He was on par with him, and he did get the drop on him and shoot him in the gut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because he knew where the armor weak points were. But when Batman found out that it was Jason, and actually got through to him, like he smashes his helmet off and sees that it's him, and he talks to him. Like you can see Jason sort of like start to understand, and then by the end of the game, he's dropped the Arkham Knight persona. He's took up the no killing rule, and he actually helps Batman defeat the Scarecrow.
Yeah, I do. I do remember he kind of does do that. But I don't know. I just felt the way they went. Because I remember when I first played that game, I was like, I even told Ryan this. I'm like, I really hope that Arkham Knight character does not turn up to be Jason Todd. And then, of course, it did. It's like, because every once in a while, it's like they're going to make a brand new character.
In the first 3 minutes, it was Jason Todd from one line he said, that's out of this film. I was like, God damn it.
Well, I did too, but I was hoping that they were just, I'm like, it's like, I know it's probably Jason Todd, but I really hope it's original character, because they said it was an original character, but then they kind of like lied to us. It's like, well, Jim Lee could only show up for 10 minutes, and he just like scribbled on a piece of paper and said, yeah, I'm done.
Well, technically, they weren't lying. Technically.
It's a very
the Arkham Knight persona is original. They didn't say the person underneath it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. But that's almost like Batman having a different like outfit, you know what I mean? It's like, well, it's still Batman.
It's Matches Malone.
Yeah, it's like Matches Malone.
Matches Malone's so underrated.
I wish they would make, like, even like those Arkham games, they should have Matches Malone levels.
Yeah, I'd be like DLC at least. Yeah.
Or those,
that would be.
You know what would be perfect for Matches Malone is those Batman Telltale games. Like, that would be a better, like, just make Matches Malone like the main character in that, and just have it be a noir Batman game.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
My thing is, for a split second, I was like, let me think. When I was trying to figure out Arkham Knight, I was like, it could possibly be Talia, and she just did a lot of padding. Then she's like, nah, too mature to be Talia. Maybe Tommy Elliott. Like, no, it's Jason. It's Jason. He's losing his shit too much for it to be Tommy Elliott.
It's at the opening when he's in the helicopter and he takes out the bridge.
What's the line he says?
I can't remember, but it's in this film, and I was just like, God damn it. It's Jason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, I just kind of, it's one of those ones. It's like, it's not the worst thing, but I just thought that, like, I don't know. I just kind of wished it was something different, because it almost kind of gave me the same feeling. I think it was Batman Origins, where at first, like, oh, sweet, they're going to really focus on Black Mask, because Black Mask is awesome, and nobody ever gives him credit. But then it's like, oh, well, Black Mask was actually just captured, and that's been Joker the whole time, wearing a Black Mask outfit. I felt that was kind of
I'll agree with you on that. That was a bit of a piss take.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a cop-out.
Because that game was set up to be just Batman versus Black Mask. He had a bounty on his head, and you had to fight everyone. I was like, I'm so in. And then it went, oh yeah, it was the Joker an entire time, and it's his origin story. I was like, oh, what? As much as I enjoy Arkham Origins, I was like, you could have just not done the Joker, just one game.
Exactly.
They can't help
because then we ended up with 4 games where Joker was the main. Well, not Arkham City. He wasn't quite the main, but he was very prominent in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Joker is, I like him a lot. He is one of my favorite villains, but at the same time, it's whenever it reached this point for a while, even in the comics, where the main villain, a lot of in Scott Snyder's run, it seems to be either the Joker or a new made-up villain. And here's Riddler for a second. And don't get me wrong, Scott Snyder's one of my favorite writers, but I noticed for a period there was this point where Joker's the main boss. Two-Face, Penguin, Killer Croc, everybody else is a side boss.
don't know if I would agree with that.
I mean,
Because the start of his and Greg Capullo's run was the Court of Owls.
yeah, like I
which
said,
was all new.
New character or
for,
Joker most of the time. It was either a new character or it was Joker. So Court of Owls, then we moved to Death of the Family, then we go
Death
to
of the Family was awesome though.
It was. No, there's no run in Snyder and Capullo's run that I don't like. I liked it all. But it's just I noticed that they would often go back to Joker. The Joker stuff still being awesome.
Was it twice they went to him? They did Death in the Family.
But
then they followed it up later where he came back
Endgame.
in Endgame.
And I guess
and
if
then
you want to
was it, wasn't it?
Then I think possibly Dark Knight Metal, possibly.
Oh well, they've hinted at the fact because there's actually 3 Jokers now, isn't there? That's the thing DC came up with. Yeah. We're gonna have 3 different Jokers. That's why we get a different version.
No, this guy was like, you thought you didn't have enough Jokers before. Guess what? 3 Jokers.
Well, now they're actually.
Well, apparently No, go on.
Now they have some special, like I think it's like DC's Black Label, like something where it's like they're breaking down the 3 Joker rule, who they are, their story, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, because Batman went omnipotent at one point, and he asked the Morbius chair. He was like, "Who's the Joker?" And I was like, "Which one?" Wait, there's 3 of them. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, that also seems like something that's whatever it is at the end of the day. Some cosmic shit's gonna merge it all together. Oh, it's back to one guy.
Yeah, probably.
Well, it's one of these ones. Like, here's the thing: the Joker is pure amazing, one of the best villains ever created. But this is my other thing: Batman has tons of amazing villains that I feel don't get nearly enough like spotlight, and that's why I was
Ventriloquist.
Yeah, I think Ventriloquist would make for an awesome Batman movie. I know that's a hard sell.
It'd be class. It'd be such a mindfuck of a film because the dude would just be batshit crazy.
Yeah,
talking to a doll.
I know that's a hard sell because you try to tell like somebody who's not in the Batman, like, well, what's the new Batman movie is? Oh, it's Batman's gonna fight a guy off a puppet. You're like, wait, what? But no, I think if you just did it really creepy and made Scarface just like totally in control and just like these guys were just like, oh my god, they like really believed this ventriloquist guy really had him under control and he was running gangs and he had, throw some other characters in there too. I think the ventriloquist and Scarface would be so awesome just if you could just pull that off because I love that villain.
Yeah, you'd have to do it a certain way. You'd probably have to have like a D-lister to back him up. Because obviously you can't just have the ventriloquist versus Batman because Batman's just going to punch him out.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing about it. He would have to be the mastermind of whatever the operation was. And then you could maybe have things like
Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, or Killer Croc or somebody else kind
of
underneath him. But I think the idea just to almost give it like sort of a lockdown sort of feel that like when Batman is infiltrating like Scarface and make it just weird and creepy as it sort of goes on. And just give it more of a horror vibe because that's the thing. A lot of Batman comics have this horror element to it, but they've never translated that into any of the movies so far. This including like the animation.
They've never really been able to get the whole world's greatest detective thing neither.
No, they haven't really done that either, where he's solving crimes and stuff like that. Instead, just like
a little
swinging
bit in Dark Knight. They had that in Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, Dark Knight. I say.
Yeah, it had it a little bit, and then there was a little bit in the '89 film where he works out Joker's chemical formula. So that, like, what not to use and what, like, ways around it.
Yeah.
Like, no one else could figure it out but Batman did. I was like, it's explored a little bit, but we never have a film where he has to be a detective more than anything else.
Under the Red Hood definitely has the detective vibe going, because that's what most of the movie is for a good portion of him, trying to find out who the Red Hood is. And going back to someone else, when I showed this to my nephew for the first time, and there's the part when the train goes by, and he's trying to segregate the audio, and he says, "You still got it, Bruce." I just looked over at my nephew. His eyes were fucking wide. I'm like, what?
How does he know his name?
Well, because that's actually probably got to be an interesting one. If you didn't really know anything about Batman, and you're watching this, like, when you probably see that Red Hood character, you probably don't think, I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But let's say if you're going into this movie totally blind, no prior Batman knowledge other than maybe a movie.
It'd be a twist and a half.
Yeah, that would be a kind of a neat twist for somebody.
But I feel like it would give it away because of the flashbacks earlier on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would, as I say, it does it, yeah, because you would, unless you're just not, like, if you're just taking the movie without thinking ahead and just taking it as you're watching it, but...
Oh, yeah, if you weren't thinking about it, it would be like, wait, what?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that would be
the dead
cool.
child from earlier? What?
But man, Under the Red Hood though, it is just a magical movie in that DCU one. As I always think that's really up there. That's one of the pinnacle ones that they've ever made.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Craig.
I do enjoy the fact that a lot of scenes were ripped straight from the graphic novel. Like, especially one where Black Mask is in his office, and he's like, God damn it, how hard is it to find someone? And then he sees the laser dot, and then he just starts running, and Red Hood's like, wow, he can really move when he wants to.
Well, that's
and then just fires a bazooka, and he's like, Jesus Christ.
Just blows up his office. Well, that's the thing, too. We forgot to kind of touch on that, but Black Mask is amazing in this movie.
He's like Tony Montana, essentially.
Yeah, he's like Tony Montana turned up to like 11. So you thought Tony Montana was already extreme. Throw a Black Mask on him, and that's what you get here.
Whatever you do, don't stare.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Looks away, looks back, and just decks him.
Well, I love the part too where Black Mask is just angry because his whole business empire is just getting like destroyed. The Red Hood's ruining everything, and he's just going over and as he's talking,
mounted on my wall.
Yeah, he's just punching guys out, and then goes to the next guy, punches him in the gut, and goes to the next guy and slams his head down into like his knee or something like that. It's just that's his way to like de-stress.
Yeah.
Well, even when you see him trying to be calm, like he's like, I can't believe I'm about to do this. He's just talking to Joker, and he's just like, this is like one of the best scenes. I think this, I'm going to say it, I think this tops the want to see a magic trick scene.
Can I have some water?
Yeah, he sounds very parched. And Joker just looks bored. Like he doesn't, not like he's like, oh, I don't want to be there. Like it's not just clicking. And when he just smashes it, slits all those guys' throats, takes the gun, and he's laughing. Black Mask still calm, like, anything else? He's like, yeah, I need a suit and some guys. Well, not these guys.
But not these guys. They're pretty dead.
Well, I just like his Black Mask, you can kind of tell, like, yeah, I seen the Joker thing before. He's gonna go crazy, do something. He's not gonna kill me, but he's gonna kill everybody probably around me.
Oh, it's the scene on top of the truck, and he's trying to light them. He's trying to light, and he's like, ah, oh, damn it, never works when you want it. And then Red Hood shows up,
yeah,
and then he's like, you're exactly where I want you. Oh, you think you organized this? Wait 1 second, I'm trying to light your friends on fire, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's also, I kind of think it's funny because Joker says the same joke twice, but to different people. Because there's the part where he says, he's like, when I wore that outfit, it was classy. You're more motorcycle fetish. And then later he's saying the same thing when he's bumping in. I'm like, I'm going to save this joke for this guy. It's just small things like Joker's not as original as we think.
No, he reuses his material.
Yeah,
I know. It's quite cringy when he did it the second time. I was more maitre d' than motorcycle fetish.
Yeah, like he's just really, he thinks that's just got the greatest joke going, and he's just gonna keep trying to use it and put it on people. But yeah, just everything about this movie is just so dialed in. Every character in it's fantastic. You know, the lines are great, the dialogue's strong. It can be dark, it can be funny, it can be brutal. You know, it's really,
it's actually quite heart wrenching as well, because like you see Batman being like, he feels guilty.
Mm-hmm.
For like Robin, and like to see him like, because he's like, when the Face on 5 turn up and Red Hood's like hold him back and he's like, what, like I thought you were fine. He's like, oh no, I'm just stalling. And then Batman joins up and he's like, didn't know whether you wanted to come. He's like, shut up and fight.
Yeah,
like that whole fight scene is amazing. Like I love that fight scene. Like Batman just gets some absolute amazing shots in. Like that dude, he puts the rocket on the back of and he's like, the fuck is that? And he just takes off straight into a building.
I remember in the comic, because he wasn't fighting, I think I was looking around, maybe those guys are in another comic, but I couldn't find them. It was a weird mixed match group of characters. There was actually Deathstroke, Captain Nazi, Hyena, and then somebody else, I don't remember. I want to say Mr. Freeze may have been there for a minute somewhere in that comic, maybe not in that group.
He is in the comic, I do remember that.
Yeah, and they're talking for a minute, like Black Mask is yelling at Deathstroke, says, you promised me the hand of God. You're giving me a hyena and a Nazi. Hyena and Nazi. What are we doing here? You know, it was also Count Vertigo. That's who else was there.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Count Vertigo, yeah.
And then they kind of calm down for a minute, arms crossed, like a shot from both of them from the back. Like, I think the hyena is actually a lady. Yeah, I kind of noticed that too.
Yeah, that was true.
But yeah,
I hate him.
Oh yeah, just totally. But yeah, Under the Red Hood is that movie. If you've never seen this DCU movie, this is like the Batman movie to watch.
This is also the one where Young Justice is set. This is the same universe.
Same universe, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. Well, are you sure? Because I remember in Young Justice they address. Does this take place after Young Justice, or is it after season 1 then, or something like that?
This will be way after Young Justice.
Okay.
'Cause in Young Justice season 2, they mentioned that Jason Todd had died.
Yeah.
So this will be set this is set 5 years after Young Justice season 2.
Okay, well I guess that makes more sense. That means Young Justice, the Joker in in that episode of Young Justice he was in, he must have got a lot more haggard over those 5 years.
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely the same Batman.
Mm-hmm. Same voice
But
actor.
yeah, but I'm sure they confirmed it's the same universe, but they changed Joker a bit.
Huh, yeah, I never put 2 and 2 together for that, but I guess that could be the case. Because sometimes those ones, they sort of interconnect some of those movies, and some of them are just freestanding,
Oh yeah, but I think they said, this is... Because I think someone had put it together and they were like, well, hold on, this could be in the same universe. And I think they just agreed. They were like, yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
They're kind of loose with that sort of stuff sometimes, because that's for a while, they were all separate movies, separate from everything else.
Then they tried to do the whole 52 thing in the films, and everyone kicked off about it, because it was we don't want new 52 versions of the stories. We want the stories, but in animated form.
Yeah, well, they're still pretty much in that. I mean, they do more than just New 52, but they're still in that New 52 of continuals.
No, they've stopped it. That's it now. You're not getting any more New 52 stuff. It's not going to be continuity now. Because you know how it was Justice League War.
Well, yeah, because there's that war.
Then Throne of Atlantis.
Oh,
then...
I see what you mean. Just taking the straight books from New 52. I was just saying it's still that same, like those characters from the New 52 style. They're just still continuing because that's even in Death of Superman. It's still part of that same universe.
Yeah, apparently they're going to do less of that because a lot of people aren't happy with it. I don't like Batman's voice. Jason O'Mara just doesn't work for me.
I don't think he's too bad. I mean, here's the thing. I like the Batman movies that are just the standalone films, like Under the Red Hood, or Dark Knight Returns and things like that, or Killing Joke.
Yeah.
I really liked Batman vs. Robin.
Yeah.
I really dug that one.
Well, Batman vs. Robin was good.
Well, here's the thing. All those ones that are continual, I still really dig them. It's not that I don't like them, but I don't care for the continuous nearly as much. I'd rather just have a solid story and then just go on to another one, like 007 style. I like that a little bit more.
I'm really looking forward to Hush.
Yeah, the Hush one is amazing that they're finally getting that.
They confirmed Hush?
Uh-huh.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, coming next year.
Well, it's funny because at DCU, whenever you get a movie, you can go in and do the voting thing for it. And I always would say, I want Hush and I want Traveling Heroes, which I know they'll probably never make Traveling Heroes, but I'm going to keep saying...
I want Kingdom Come. I think Kingdom Come would be an excellent animated film.
I put that one down, too, because that's always on their list, too. And then I always do my ride-in as Traveling Heroes. I know they're probably never going to make some 60s, 70s Green Arrow meets Green Lantern one, but...
If they got a Green Arrow, Green Lantern movie coming out, possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be good. I think if they could... Do you know how I would do the Kingdom Come, though?
Uh-huh.
Because obviously they would change it anyway. I would do Kingdom Come set in the animated series universe.
Like Bruce Timm style animated universe?
Yeah.
Sweet, that's a good idea.
But Kingdom Come story, but with the Bruce Timm designs set in that universe.
So it's almost like
that would be
a sequel to Justice League and Justice League Unlimited kind of almost in a sense.
Like a what if storyline. Because obviously in Justice League Unlimited, they tied in the continuity with Batman Beyond.
Yeah, that's right. The very last episode.
And had Bruce give the mantle to Terry. But I think they could do a what if where Superman goes into exile. Everyone finds out who Bruce is, messes him up so he's in a brace, and just follow the story of Kingdom Come with Superman's return. Maybe take the Bruce Timm designs and just tweak them a little bit.
Uh-huh. Kind of give them a mixed match between Bruce Timm design and also well, I don't know how you would do it for Alex Ross, because you would be able to do that.
I would just make them a bit more, kind of mix it between Bruce Timm's and Young Justice, where you've got the different... Try and get some of, shading on it.
Uh-huh.
Like the way they do it now, with Superman Doomsday, the way they've got the shading on the suit, but do the proper suit, the classic suit.
Yeah,
and get the voices back.
and get the costumes kind of from just drew a blank on the title of that book.
Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come. There we go. Yeah, just get those like the way their costumes look in that.
They'll probably get the
I really
Alex
love the
Ross.
fact that Kingdom Come is it Kingdom? No, it's not that one. There's another one that Alex Ross did called Justice, and they have to wear armored suits. And Batman makes his out of the '66 car.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, with the red trim, it's class.
Oh, that's awesome. I never read that book before.
I've seen the cover to that one. I never read that. But
It's a 3-parter, and like if you liked Kingdom Come, you'll enjoy Justice.
is it the sequel to that?
It's set in the same universe, but it's before.
Okay, I'm going to have to check that one out.
'Cause I think after Kingdom Come, DC went, yeah, you can just have. There is an actual Alex Ross universe.
Mhm.
And he did another one after. I think there's only the 2 stories, but it's a 3-parter called Justice.
Huh.
And it's the same as like Kingdom Come. It spans everyone. Like they all have. Like I'll only tell you the beginning bit, but all the heroes have the same dream. Where the world ends. Like Superman tries to save, like literally races around the globe trying to save people, and every time he saves them, they die. Batman gathers up all of the orphans in Gotham and leads them to the cave for safety.
I'm gonna need a lot of Robins in the future.
Robin Army, here we go.
Right, Green Lantern, and then the planet explodes. Green Lantern tries to hold it together. He dies in the blast, and Superman takes off because there's nothing he can do. And they all have the same dream, and it drives them crazy. And then you find out why later, but you see each character go through a sort of like journey of that, and this like the artwork is just superb.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. Is Guy Gardner in it? Does he have the same dream? I just kind of wondered.
No, but Hal does, and he's in space.
Guy Gardner
And
he just missed the catch at the football game back in high school. That's what Guy
It would
Gardner
just be funny if it cut through there's all these dreams of the world ending, and then Guy Gardner has a dream. It's just like, no.
Do you know what it is? You'll have actually seen the artwork before. You'll have seen the shot of Superman leaving Earth as it explodes.
Probably. I probably have.
That shot has been everywhere. But it's from a 3-part. It's coming from a 3-part series called Justice. You've got one with all of the heroes on the front cover, Kingdom Come style. And then you've got the other cover, which is all the villains. And then the last one is them all in the armored suits. And like the one where they get the armored suits is awesome because, you know, the Metal Men?
Mm-hmm.
They're in it, and they like one of them I think's lead. And he becomes Superman suit, so as he's getting punched, he's going, ow, ow, ow. But Batman's like, no thanks. I'll make my own. I've got something in the works. And he takes the 66 car and just starts chopping it up and makes it into a suit. And I was like, yes, lad.
That's
pretty
awesome.
It's got wings and everything. It's mint.
I gotta check this one out now. As far as like one thing I think would be an awesome DCU movie would be Long Halloween, but each chapter, each holiday is a different animation style.
Ooh, kind of like what they did with Batman Gotham Knight.
Yeah, kind of like Gotham Knight, but
or
still
Green Lantern's Emerald Knights.
Yeah,
It's funny how they're all called Knights when they're
same continual story, but each holiday is a different art style.
Different, yeah.
Yeah, I always think.
Why have we never had a live action calendar, man?
I don't know.
He's a hard one to pull off. You either go Hannibal. I guess you could just go Hannibal Lecter with it because that's how they did it in Long Halloween.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Long Halloween was a really good book.
yeah, exactly. I always feel that's always in like the top 5 like recommended Batman books. If I have to tell somebody like, here, take this one, it'll get you going. But I am surprised that they haven't done that one yet. I know that's always on their list though when they ask what should we do next. You know, it's like, yeah.
I think it's always been up there with Hush.
Like if they did Long Halloween, it'd be cool if they did Long Halloween and then they did Dark Victory as a sequel one to it. Because both. Those
I'd really
books are
like
amazing.
them to do a sequel to Hush.
They have Hush
What's it
Returns. That's really a sequel. There's that Paul Dini one though.
There's Heart of Hush.
Or Heart of Hush, that's what it's called.
But there is Heart.
That's it. I fucking love that book. It's so good.
Well, anything Paul
Alfred
Dini's
proper
mostly
gets
always good,
licks
too.
in
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that part.
because he tries to trick Alfred, and Alfred's like, "Bruh, that's not happening."
Well, there's
Not
also
today.
There's also the part where he says, like, we got, like, I remember what the line is. It's like, we got to go with the protocol. What? The protocol? He goes, Hush, makes his way in the Batcave, and then also the T-Rex, like, and it, like, starts attacking Hush.
Oh, it's just all kinds of cool stuff there. Well, Craig,
I love that film.
we know it's getting late over at your place, so I guess we could do the old wrap-up. But we could talk Batman forever, so we definitely got to do this again. And there's always more Batman movies. That's the nice thing about life.
There's 100% more Batman movies.
There's always another Batman flick. We got choices.
Yeah.
But, yeah, other than that cool stuff, make sure to check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, and more. And then, Craig, you want to give out some shout-outs where they can find your book, where they can find that? I know we said at the beginning, but people forget, like myself.
You can find us on Comix Central. Issues 1 and 2 are out. I'm currently working on issue 3. And if you like Batman, you'll enjoy Project Saviour. It's not like a Batman rip or anything, but if you like that sort of like broody, not so much broody, but that sort of like comic, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, so make sure to check out Project Saviour. That's Project Saviour with a U. And then you can also find Craig at Project Saviour on Twitter. Easy way to find, talk, and do all kinds of good stuff, and get our Batman rants out, because that's the most important thing in life, I think.
Yeah, you just have to rant about it.
Ryan, you got anything else to add? You look like you have an adding thing.
What? Oh, no, I'm just, my caffeine's worn off.
Okay, we're at that point. This is when you're 2 podcasts in a row, you stack them, even though, I guess it hasn't been that long, but it does feel like it's been longer than you would think. But I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan. And Craig, if you'd like to sign us off.
I'm Batman.
Craig Johnson is Batman.
Wise life decisions.
Today I am.
Just a Batman kind of day.
If you're going to be anyone, be Batman.
Exactly.
Words to live by.
And we'll see you some other time.
Later, folks.
Bye.
Thanks again for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Sure, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, music, animation, and a whole lot more. We also have the Old Man Orange blog going with all kinds of fun stuff. If you easily want to support the show, use one of our Amazon links either on the website or in the description of the podcast below. Rate, review, and subscribe to the show either on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Newgrounds, or anywhere else that you seem to get this podcast from. Grab the sitcom-styled comic book Pizza Boys on either Comix Central, Comixology, or Amazon. Want more podcasts? Check out the Indie Comics Club over at Comix Central. I also got a workout website called Thor's Hidden Gym, filled with fitness tips and tricks, videos, and a whole lot more fun stuff in the calisthenics world. Talk to us on Twitter at Spencer S. Holmes and Dunigan Ryan. Like our Facebook pages of Old Man Orange Productions and Pizza Boys Comic. Thanks again. We're out of here.